Uh, Good afternoon to all the respected officers and SSC JEs from all Indian Railways. On behalf of Chemtech, myself PK Wakankar, SSC Signal, welcome you all in this webinar on IPMPLS and its applications in Indian Railways. Today we have with us Mr. Shiva Kumar from Team Engineers, Hyderabad. He will be giving the presentation on the topic. I also welcome him. And before starting our webinar, I request Director SNT Sri Vijay Garg sir to say a few words to the participants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vakankarji. So good afternoon to all of you, respected sirs and dear friends. Today we are going to have a webinar on IPMPLS and its application in Indian Railways, a relatively new topic in terms of telecom. And today we are having Mr. Shiva Kumar, Vice President Team Engineers from Hyderabad, who is going to present on this topic. I'm sure that today we are going to have in-depth knowledge about this IP-MPLS, which is a relatively new technology, which is going to replace the STM as well as the PDMux in terms of the layer 2 and layer 3 switches. So I request all the participants, because we are having a very, very important session today itself. So I request all the participants to please mute your voice as well as keep off your switch off your videos so that we can have interruption free webinar. Now I request Mr. Shiva Kumar to please start with your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Starting. Thanks, Camtech, for the opportunity to give the presentation on IPMPLS, and also all the participants for their valuable time. I will just start with a brief background of the company, and then we will roll out on the IPMPLS presentations. So I'm just starting the presentation. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Sir. So this is a company from Hyderabad. It's an Indian company. It's nearly 25 years old company. We are around 110 people working and more. We have our own manufacturing setup. We have our own pick and place. We have own our chambers for making the PCBs also. This is just a brief thing about the company. And this is the pick and place machine, where you can see where the PCBs is getting populated with the chips. So these are all the IC chips and capacitors which will get populated. These are the places where the IC chips are there, which is getting populated through pick and place machines. This machine can do around 20,000 components length per hour. That's around 0.18 second per component. Once it is done, the PCB goes into the chamber, into the oven. We call this as the oven, where it is baked. And then it comes out. And then after that, we do the final testing. All this is in-house we do. This is again a 7-chamber baking thing, where different heat ranges are there. This is just to give an idea. This is about our capabilities of PCB design. This is a very interesting thing, sir. Just picked it up. See, there is something known as software-defined networks coming in India in a very big way across the world. See, you have generally any box with a Ethernet port. But still in India, we have a lot of traditional circuits are there having E1 and V35. Okay. So where we are, actually this is a motherboard of a very Taiwanese thing, where we are interworking with a motherboard of a Taiwanese motherboard, giving you a V35 or a E1 port, so that the migration for software defined network is very easy. And this project we are doing with ICICI Bank. This is just to show you about capabilities of PCB design. I will also just like to share some PCB design slides just for a couple of few seconds. So this is one of the okay once. Okay, sir. I'll just share you at the end of the presentation, where I just wanted to show you some PCB design slides of us. Okay. This is again about our company, where we have nearly around 5 lakh units installed across India, servicing them. Okay. We are also tied up with Bell for wireline communication. We design for Bell also. We are also approved by the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research for in-house R&D. This is given to companies which they have in-house R&D and have accomplished certain design capabilities. This is all about the company, so just to give you a brief idea. Now coming back to the main core subject is that IP-MPLS. There's been a board directive or sort of a circular where they have taken a decision that now SDH network, which has served its purpose and it is continuing to serve in a very nice way, to migrate to IP-MPLS. The gist of the letter or the board circular says that all future work replacement of SDH PDH works to be with IP-MPLS. Now this is your, I'm sure everybody is aware of this. This is your existing network where you have STM PDMux at each station, serving all your needs for communication purpose. STM gives you the events and the PDMux gives you mainly for your voice channels like control phone, auto phones. Now this is again in a different way. What all circuits are carrying in railways? RailNet is there, Wi-Fi, CCTV, railway display networks are there, BPSC, UFSB, data loggers, PRS, SCADA, FOS. All these are dumped onto the STM for the connectivity needs for different locations. Whereas voice is concerned like FXS, FXO, E&M, point-to-point network is dumped onto the PDMux, which is connected to the STM. Now this whole setup has to move to IP-MPLS. To give you more brief, to give you more detailed circuits, these are the circuits. You have something like magnetophone, you have got SPTs also, signal post telephones are there certain places, PABXs are there. All these circuits and voice of, the circuits of the data and the voice have to be migrated to IP-MPLS. Now the scope of this presentation is basically how do we migrate it? First one, ensuring that IP-MPLS network is upgradable. And there is also a very important factor that between stations also you're laying fiber. You're going to get multiple like auto sections or CTC, you call it, centralized train traffic control, where you might require certain intelligent devices in between the stations. So this is also a very important factor. And the last is that the connectivity, how do you connect it to the IP-MPLS? What is the new technology in the IP, on the periphery? We call it the periphery or we call it the first mile connectivity. This is hooked up to the IP-MPLS. This is the basically, I will cover all these four in brief. Now the scope of the thing was something like this. You need to have a very good MPLS backbone supporting both MPLS and your STM network. You need to have a mid-section connectivity also need to be taken care of. Okay, because you're going to chop the section, the block into multiple sections, right? Let's say you take a block between station A and station B is 10 kilometers. You might chop it into 2-3 blocks every 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers where you might require certain. And the third is that where you call that, we call it the periphery connectivity. You can use a traditional router or a switch to connect onto the IP-MPLS backbone. Or you have some new technology coming known as universal CPEs. It's a very interesting thing. So basically the trick is you have to have the right solution in order to move forward in a seamless manner. Now, what is this right solution? Now, coming back to IP-MPLS, I'm sure everybody knows why it is. IP-MPLS is a technology which has been there for many years. BSNL has been using, a lot of service providers are using for the technology. You have a lot of advantages on it. It is basically, you have a lot of bandwidth and plus each port can be configured as an L2 or a L3. Then you have a lot of dynamism in the connectivity needs. So for example, you take a standard E1, it's basically a point-to-point network. So you generate a E1 from point A, it goes to point B. And then again, you generate a E1 from point B to point C. So you have, and plus if you have a star network, it becomes little difficult. Whereas IP-MPLS or a routing technology can overcome it very easily. This is some of the advantages of IP-MPLS offers. Okay. The main advantage is that it has got tremendous flexibility, and plus it is very, I mean, okay, security-wise, it is very secured, and even SDH is much more secure than IP-MPLS. You have quality of services coming so that you can prioritize traffic. And then there's one great thing about the whole thing is that it is any to any connectivity. And plus it is really, you have got tremendous bandwidth in using IP-MPLS, and because fiber can support it. These are certain features of SDH versus IP-MPLS. STM has got around 155 Mbps is STM1, STM4 is 622. Whereas IP-MPLS, you can start with 100 Mbps, 1G, 10G, 25G, 100G. It's absolutely Ethernet rich. You need to use it. Now we have got couple of options, not couple, yeah, you've just got couple options actually. One is you have a STM PDMux which need to get migrated to STM. There is a way of doing it. One is you have an option where you can use your existing fiber only to migrate to IP-MPLS. You don't need any additional fiber. Or you can have a combination of existing new one also. How is it done? See, nowadays you have WDM planes where you can multiplex the fiber into different traffics. So you have a WDM plane in the IP-MPLS box. This box can take your SDH network. It also can take your IP-MPLS traffic through other cards. You don't need any additional fiber. The other option is you have a parallel line running to the existing SDH network. That is, you have got your STM1 network and you have got your parallel network running on IP-MPLS devices. See, IP-MPLS devices are nothing but they are high-end routers. There are some pros and cons of both the options. One is you don't require any additional fiber, which is very exciting. So you can roll out. You can have the existing network seamlessly working. And plus it also gives you a very scalable device. So as you grow, you can keep adding the more bandwidth in option one. You can also have multiple downlinks. This is possible in both option one and option two, like copper, single fiber, dual fiber. The advantage of this option one is that you have WDM card, which will help you to have multiple traffics on it. Option two looks like very nice, but it's a parallel network. But then you need to choose a device which is really powerful, because you are going to choose a device which is going to be there for at least minimum 10 years or 5 minimum years. This is a brief sort of your network where you have categorized it as LERs are supposed to be wayside stations. LSR is supposed to be junction station, which can take multiple inputs. You can have LER, LSR across at each POP where you have got SDH network. You can have this traffic of your IP-MPLS can be 25G, 10G, 1G, events also, which are very, very essential for you for connecting PDMux, BPSC, UFSB, or data logger. PDMux can be eliminated by having train control communication systems on VoIP. But whereas BPSC, UFSB, or data logger will still use some sort of events. Or you also can convert them into sort of IP-MPLS, you're having devices for it. This is how an IP-MPLS POP might look. You have an SDH network and PDH going through the IP-MPLS. This all can be dumped onto the Ethernet of 25G, 10G, 1G, or even. You can have on the Ethernet ports you can have your camera surveillance, VoIP phones, you can have EC sockets, VoIP, again, UTS, PRS, FOS, this is known as rail, this is display network, and RailNet. And even if you require, you can have BPSC, UFSB, data logger, and PDMux connected to the device. This device support speeds up to 100G. See, the whole trick of migration to IP-MPLS has got multiple ways. You can go section-wise, but the trick here will be having your creating of your MPLS rings and suitable VPNs as per your needs. You can have your NMS at your central division zonal headquarters. I am just going to one existing site where we have migrated. Couple of case studies I have got where I would like to share with you people how on the existing fiber IP/MPLS device has been introduced. So this is one actual existing setup of SDH connectivity in one zone known as NFR, North Frontier Railways. You have Maligaon. It is coming. KYQ is Kamakya. It is coming to Maligaon is the central. I mean, is the main headquarters. It is going to Guwahati, and then the next station is New Guwahati on a normal SDH network using STM1 network. They also have a parallel RailTel router IP/MPLS running between Guwahati and Maligaon for certain services. I have just taken a couple of them. That is, one is 120 Mbps RailNet services, 4 Mbps TPAS services, which is going to Maligaon distribution where it is through a firewall. Now, the question was, how do I introduce MPLS between Maligaon and Guwahati? And this is how we have done. And this is also our RailTel POPs at Maligaon end. This is just an actual file photograph of the site. And this is also a RailTel POP at Guwahati, where you have your MPLS routers. These are the MPLS routers of them. And here is on the top. This is how we have put. We have connected our devices, our IP/MPLS devices, okay, at Maligaon and Guwahati. The beauty of this thing is that we are using the same fiber. We have STM network going through this Maligaon and Guwahati through my IP/MPLS device. In addition to that, we have the Juniper router IP/MPLS circuits of 120 Mbps and TPAS 4 Mbps, which is going to the GM conference hall. And this 120 Mbps is going to the firewall, where it is further distributed to different places. You will have the data moving on the same fiber seamlessly. And I've also given you statistics of the fiber, what you call the losses. Trans was 9.1 dB, receive is 15.7 dB. You can have in this single fiber of yours, which was used just 155 Mbps, that was a red path initially. Now we added two, one was black, is another 10G path or a 25G path. Presently it's on 10G, and the yellow path also is a 10G path. So we have stimulated two 10G paths plus one 55 Mbps existing STM PDH network on your existing fiber. Plus we have your IP/MPLS traffic moving from Guwahati to Maligaon on the same thing. This is how the connectivity will look now. Maligaon, we have IP/MPLS box where you have the STM connected to Maligaon end, which is kind of talking to Guwahati. And whereas from Guwahati, it is again seamlessly going to New Guwahati. You have the firewall connected to the MPLS device. You have the router connected to the core MPLS device. And you also have the 4 Mbps circuit from a separate router connected. All this on the same fiber, you have SDH and IP/MPLS working. Sir, if you have any questions also, you can ask me in between if you feel like. This is actually again a actual site photograph where we have our boxes installed. So this is the box is IP/MPLS box, which has got multiple cards. This below cards, these devices are nothing but PDMux connected on E1 on Ethernet port. This is this second device is in a MUX with IP/MPLS. This has got Ethernet uplink port, which is connected to IP/MPLS. This bottom box is a traditional PDMux, which is connected on E1s onto the IP/MPLS. This is just to show the idea that we can connect multiple devices to stimulate your voice if you still require it. This is another section of Jodhpur, sir. There between Jodhpur and Fulara. The question was to first between JU and FL to connect it on IP/MPLS. So you can connect using the same fiber seamlessly. You can have the SDH network even going peacefully from even the junctions. You can just have these purple boxes of IP/MPLS initially. You can have the red boxes of the SDH PDH also coexisting on the same fiber if you require. And this is how the actual photograph will be after completion. You have the source station from JPU, IP/MPLS sitting. You have the STM going through the IP/MPLS, getting dropped. Okay, and then you have the blue fellow talking to the blue fellow, the yellow fellow talking to the yellow fellow. And at last also here, this STM1 other port is not going through IP/MPLS, it is going directly to your SDH network. This is how I can just show you a different version with where you can see the traffic movement of your SDH network going peacefully. There's no constraint on it. In addition, you can carry your IP MPLS. So the whole idea is devices are available where you can carry your SDH and PDH traffic if you want on the MPLS, and then you dump on your circuits of your SDH and PDH onto IP MPLS. What about junction connectivity? This is how it is a junction. So I'm using the same thing. You can have the tributary port of the STM. So this tributary port of the STM is talking to this tributary port of the STM. Again, through this WDM cards. Now this is basically a three-way junction. Now what happened with the four-way? This is then once you migrate, you can remove them off. This is the four-way junction where at the central box you'll have two WDM cards where it is talking to north and south and east and west also. The data traffic of SDH can move seamlessly through your WDM cards. This is in addition to your IP MPLS traffic. This is one sort of connectivity between Katiyar and Alipurdwar. It's just a brief thing where you have around 11 to 12 junctions are there, and the backup line are taken from RailTel for protection part. These are the various junctions they have identified. A junction is a place where you'll have more than two connections. You'll have east and west, or you can have north and south, or even some other northeast or whatever. This is one of their existing network, just to show you. And coming back to the products, there are multiple products. That also I'm sharing. You have got Cisco, Juniper. We also are good in IP MPLS. There are various products. See, smaller products are known as LERs. It's a sort of a name. Bigger products, but we have one single box which supports as LER and LSR. Only the personality changes by the cards you change. These boxes are not very huge. They're just 3U height or 4U height maximum. 3U is nothing but each U is 4.5 centimeters. A 3U height is nothing but a 13.5 centimeters. They're very small in size. And very compact because you get very, very powerful chips now. And these are some various attributes of each router available, MPLS. Each has their pluses and minuses. We have around 12 slots in the box. 2 will go for back panel, and so you have got 10 user slots. This is around 3U height. This is about LSR routers, which are the bigger ones, which can take 25Gs, 10Gs, and all that. They all come with dual power supplies, 1+1. Even the motherboard also can be dual, 1+1. Now, this is also one section I would like to share. These are all live examples where between South Central Railway the line is between Mehboob Nagar and Kachiguda, which the work is under progress. Here you have got new fiber. The red is the new fiber. The green is the old fiber. And you have got some LC gates. This is what I was saying, like say mid-section communication, where fiber is available. See, now this could be the network diagram. Let's say Shad Nagar, and where the other station we have put the next nearby station we have put IP MPLS. At LC gate number 32, 33, we have devices which can support IP MPLS. Plus, in addition, these beautiful devices can give you traditional voice out also if you require. So we have two such devices. These are known as packet transport devices, known as TANZ, for providing communication in mid-section. These are actual photographs of your Shadnagar site, where LC gate is there. There are cameras put up here. There are two cameras. One is on each side of the LC gate for monitoring. These are again live at Shadnagar site, where you are able to see the camera and the views of the LC gate along with voice communication to the Shadnagar railway station. This is in brief the connectivity. This sort of a color, maroon color, where we have installed. Balance are yet to be installed. This is on 10G IP MPLS. You are having the SDH network also going through it. Once this whole setup, this section is done and all the circuits are migrated, you can just remove off your STM PDMux. These are certain sort of certificates or some sort of testimonials where we have installed and they have been working decently from past 7-8 months. The same thing we have done in Southern Railway also. There were 4 stations, Meekpalam, Arkonam, Tiruthunan, PY, where we had to show them that on the existing fiber we can put IP-MPLS device, the STH and the PDMux can work through. Plus, in addition, they have some IBH in between where they need plus communication and a north cabin also. So the top one is the existing network. The bottom one shows you how we have migrated. We have again used our IP-MPLS devices. Through WDM card, we have the STM PDMux going. At the IBH and the north cabin, we have a smaller device connected where it can provide you all your needs of auto phone, block phone, RTU, fire alarm, SPT, and EC. Plus, it has an IP-MPLS uplink. Here also, we have, it's been more than 8 months since we have installed. These are certain testimonials that we have installed with CW SDH at Meekpalam. The device hybrid of Team Engineer have been kept for 8 months along with the existing HVAC. The device have been installed on 18 September 2020. And there have been no failures. This is to just give a brief idea about any IP-MPLS box. Okay? You will have a main box. You have 2 power supplies. You will have slots. Our box has got 12 slots. Okay. The beauty is that this has got a WDM card also if you require. And this WDM has got standard color codes. There's a standard internal 1471, 91, 11, 31. So you can take multiple paths in the existing fiber itself. This is how the WDM card looks. You have one trans receive, which will have the existing fiber coming up. And these fibers can be, you can have one of them to be on the SDH network. The others can be on IP-MPLS network. This could how it look at an OFC room. Okay. You have WDM cards as 1 and 2, let's say. You have control plane 1 and 2. You can have 1Gs. You can have 16 E1s. You can have 25G. You can have a 100G card. You can have even LTE connected onto it. Your new LTE is coming up. You can have your PRS, your sub offices, all connected onto Ethernet ports of this. This is again just one more example how it is. What cards are available? See, WDM plane is there, 1G copper, 1G copper is there, 1G optical is there, 10G, 25G, E1, L2, L3 services. You can have on copper LAN extender, you can pull to the existing network if you want. You can have E1 talking to the existing routers if you want. You can have 1G or 10G downlinks for your switching. You can have again for residences any separate network on your 1G or 10G. You can have your PDMux if you still want it, or you can dump it off. And you can have also STM11464 going through this box. You can have your data logger BPSC connectivity on E1s. This can be done on E1s or IP-MPLS also. We have devices which can connect directly on Ethernet ports also now, data logger and BPSC. We will take the input of the data logger, which is V.21 is a 2-wire circuit or a BPSC is a 2-wire or 2-wire circuit. Data logger is direct E1. We also UFSB again is a 4-wire circuit. We can take them in and convert it to IP-MPLS and use the 1G port to transport it to different locations if we need. This is a new device coming on a software-defined network known as universal CPs. In addition, you can this works. See, you can have multiple VLANs. You can have routing. Each port can be routed. Right? You see. Any application you can create separate networks. You can have some eNode B with sync in and sync out interface also is there, where you can connect it to your eNode Bs. So these devices can handle all your wide spectrum of your requirement in Indian Railways. This is again the chassis, sir, where I was telling you. This is just 3U height, 13.5 centimeters. It has 2 power supplies. It has got 2 control cards, 1 plus 1 backup. And these are the various modules available in any IP-MPLS device. WDM card is there, even service card is there, 1G is there, 10G will get 4, 25x4 is there, and 100G also is available. See, the trick here is that you need to choose a device which can have lot of energy in it. So you want to migrate, you can go. I mean, it's like you want to buy a laptop today. You buy an i7 processor. You're not going to buy i3, right? Because you're looking for the future. And these are the different configurations we can have, right? Where in slot 7 and 8, we have this NXU card is a control card, which has got 1+1 protection. That is, one card fails, it takes the other thing. Then you can have multiple other services cards in different slots as required. If you have a 25G card, you can work on 10G card also. These are just brief pictorials of the cards. This is an even card. It has got it has got 8 RJ45s, and each RJ45 supports 2 because even is got 4 wires, trans receive. 2 trans, 2 receive. So this module can support 16 events. We have got a 8 1G card, these are basically SFP cages. The personality of this can change by using the appropriate SFP. You can have a copper SFP inserted to connect to a copper LAN extender. You can have a optical fiber SFP inserted to carry down the optical path, on the fiber. You can have a 10G or a 25G card. Carrying each port is a 10G card or 10G port or a 25G. Different SFPs, just to give an idea. We have got copper SFPs. This will change the personality of the whatever in that 81G card is there. Anyone, so you insert a copper SFP, this becomes an electrical copper. It supports 10 bar, 100 bar, 1000. This is a single core SFP. This is a dual core SFP. These are 10G SFPs. This is also just to give an idea about the IPLS NEMTA. We have shown a 300G backplane where you can connect your various services. And once you are done with it, you can remove your SDM PDH mux. This is again a brief about the product, where it has got an NMS. It can support L2, L3 services. It is also smart enough to create, let us say, between multiple stations, let us say station A and B, you need to have a pipe of 10G. It is a clean 10G pipe. These boxes are smart enough to do that also. This 10G path will not touch your existing IP-MPLS load at all. This is brief in the EMS. We call it as element management software, where you can manage all the devices. We also have a third-party interface where you can have your NMS, where the NMS can trigger what to do in the EMS, and the EMS will send the thing. Every router manufacturer will give an EMS. Okay. So this EMS has got certain features. It can do your alarm management. It can do performance. It can also do some RFC 2544 test also it can do. You want to see any throughput test. Test and measure also is there. This is one more actual photograph of a site, sir, where you have your SDH network going through the IP-MPLS box. So you can have an STM. This is PDMux. The PDMux is connected to the STM. The STM traffic is going through my IP-MPLS box through WDM cards. So once you are done, you can just blank them off. This is again just giving you an idea of a snapshot. The MPLS router can provide you various linking, whatever you want, 1G, 10Gs, you can surveillance, routers, 100 Mbps, STM. And then you have, if you're requiring any sort of an MPLS mux, that also are available to talk to traditional things. No, we don't require all this, then this can be dumped off. This can be done by converting all your auto phones and control phones onto your IP. You have got something known as TCCS, Train Control Communication Software System, where the whole thing says that how do we migrate to VoIP. Once this is done, then the need for your PDMux will be near zero. This is just to give an idea what should be think. You have a wayside station supporting 200 Gbps. All these boxes are not very expensive. Okay. And all chips come which are quite powerful now. You can have at the junction site topping 300 Gbps. This is in brief, sir, about why no strain on the resources, seamless migration, flexibility is there. You can also use your old fiber, new fiber, and a combination. You can roll it out section wise. You can have integration, migration, upgradation of the device, all available in a single box. And now this coming to the second topic of the presentation. So this is the connectivity needs between your stations. So we have discussed about IP MPLS at stations. Now what about your needs of between the stations? So that also is going to come in a big way because you're going to have multiple, as I was saying earlier, that you'll have multiple locations between in a block, which are going to be intelligent, and you're going to run fiber across it. These are actually your amazing communication needs in railways, right? Your signaling systems also requires communications. This is your main core communication for your FOS, PRS, UTS, other communication. Auto location hub, CTC is coming, ETC or TCAS you call it, and then SCADA. So this gives you all this. You need some sort of communication for everything. Now, how does this box cater to all of them? Now I'm trying to talk about in between stations. You have got devices which are a mixture of STM, PDMux, and MPLS. These are known as packet transport devices, where it has some personality of PDMux in it, some personality of STM, and personality of IP MPLS. These are small boxes, has hardly 6.6 centimeters in height, and 19-inch standard. See, this is how we can do it. Let's say you have got a station A and station B. You are having, let's say, two blocks. One is auto location hut and an IBH. You can connect on the IP MPLS port onto this device. We call it TANZ. This box can give you multiple things out, as I was saying. It can give FXS, FXO, E&M. It can give you E1s out. It can give you Ethernet out also. This can go and you can connect it to the other end. All this is an IP MPLS sort of on fiber. You can create a ring also in east-west if you want. If let us say you have got another fiber on the other side, that also can be created between. This is the actual box size, sir, where you have 3 slots, 1, 2, 3. These are all PDMux personalities. This is the Ethernet personality of 1G, 1000 Mbps. You have got 4 optical ports. 2 can be 1G ports, 2 can be STM1, STM4 ports. It has got 8 even ports. And the height of the box is just 6.6 centimeters. And these are all little very ruggedized sort of things. They work up to 60 degrees centigrade. You have got other companies. There's a company known as Radster. I'm sure many of us have. This one also gives you the same sort of a thing. He has got one additional feature. It can take some relay inputs also if you want, non-vital relays. See, this will also gives you the same E1. It gives you Omnibus, FXS, Ethernet, and plus also it gives you some relay inputs. So this will help you to migrate any of the relays copper. You want to save some copper between this section, this mid section 1 and mid section 2. You want to carry some relays? Yes. You can use boxes like this. This box can support relays up to nearly your standard Q series relays up to 30 volts DC, 24 volts standard. And this is the last topic, sir. This is I'm talking about the UCP. So we have talked about the MPLS at station. We have talked about mid-section connectivity needs. And the last one is that what is so nice about this existing, the periphery connectivity. The periphery is the routers or the L2 boxes, which will be connected to the IP MPLS. Okay. There's a lot of changes taking place in this also. I just thought I would like to share them. Look at our smartphone, right? It has got multiple devices in a single smartphone, right? Like it has got telephone, it has got photo, it has got a camera, it has got a, it has got a torch light. Okay, it has got a music, it can scan, it can do what sorts of. Now, why not the same concept go to your first-end devices? So this is how it is. We call it UCP. That is known as Universal CP. See, end of the day, let's look again. I keep repeatedly telling. We have got a laptop. The personality of the laptop changes by the software. I use Windows, I get a Windows laptop. I use, let's say, Apple sort of a thing. I use Android, then it becomes an Android laptop. So the same concept has been introduced into this first 10 devices also. There is something known as UCP. This box can support router, it can support software-defined network, it can, if you need IPBABX, these are all softwares which you can procure and load into them. And there are people making them. How do you, this is your UCP device. You can have a virtual router. You can have a SD-WAN, which is coming in a very, very big way. You can have VoIP. So this will give you flexibility, network reliability. I mean, the same box will have multiple personalities. One single box, you can work it as a router initially. Once you don't want to use a traditional router, let us say you want to migrate to software-defined networks, which all the banks are migrating now. They're no more, like, it's not a, what I'm trying to say is, it's a reality. All the banks, even the traditional banks are migrating to software-defined networks. Even railways will migrate also, for sure. So these first 10 devices, you can initially use them as a router, a simple router. Then in that same box, you can use it as a SD-WAN. And you want to add any VoIP options also for your conferencing and all that, that also you can add the module. So this is how your present connectivity on router is there. Okay. I mean, it's standard. It can be on MPLS or it can be on your SDH network. I've shown STM only. You can remove them off. You can have the UCP coming onto the thing. The beauty of this UCP is that it will not put strain onto your third path connectivity. This guy can work even with the local internet if you want. If the link fails, he will go through the local internet to the center in a secured manner. Now, if you look at banking network also now, how is it? Earlier, he was taking from BSNL and the second path from some other service provider. Now it's all gone. He just takes one line from one service provider. The second line he's taking from the local internet provider. Now, suppose the main link fails. The data to the server is through the local internet person in a secured way. No one can hack it. Basically, you are creating certain VPN tunnels in the service provider network to reach the destination. And they're very cost effective. And all banks are migrating. And in fact, let us say you have got, let's say, like you want to start a network with 25 locations or 200 locations, all petrol pumps. You can have an SD-WAN network. You can have a small device like this connected to each city local internet. And then you can have a whole network for your 200 locations in no time. In those days, we would traditionally take some E1 line or a 64 kbps line. All that is not required. This is just to give another idea about what is the UCP. You can have, see, this VNF 1, 2, 3, 4, you can have different software modules in it. This device can work on cellular network or internet or IP MPLS. This IP MPLS can be yours fixed. If you want, you can go on cellular network also to your headquarters. It can go on your internet also, the local. This is how, just one more diagram just to give an idea. You can have third-party orchestra. This is the ecosystem of different. This is firewall is there. It has got routing. It has got SD-WAN. Even if you want to carry traditional even circuits or Ethernet also, you have just simple SFPs available now. Let us say you have got an PABX which you would like to carry on to your IP MPLS. You just have to plug in an SFP. This SFP can be plugged into the IP MPLS cage, where you can connect your E1 to this. This fellow will carry, you will convert it into your Ethernet packet if you don't have any E1 card. And then give it to that wherever next destination, wherever you need to connect to another E1 or PRI line of their exchange. It's just an SFP which will allow you to convert your PRI to Ethernet. This is just coming back to the snapshot of your IP MPLS and your thing, how it looks at the OFC hut pops. This is the same thing, sir, again. So that's it. So this is it. Thank you for your time. And there's just one more small thing I would like to continue. This is about your VoIP based communications, Indian Railways. This too, you have your VoIP based train controller SPN 99. This is just to give a brief idea about how we can do it. You have your central primary server is there where you're connected to your emergency console. Now, why I'm saying this topic is because if you want to move away from your traditional control phone, you need to implement train control communication systems onto the IP-MPLS network. This is how it is, sir. So thank you, sir. So if you have any questions or anything, if you like to say anything, I'll be more than happy to do.
हेलो सर।
हाँ प्लीज।
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन सर ये है कि सर इसमें प्रोटेक्शन कैसे वर्क करेगा, जैसे कहीं अगर MPLS की रिंग में OFC कट जाती है तो सर प्रोटेक्शन कैसे वर्क करेगा, थोड़ा उसके बारे में
हाँ
बताइए।
हाँ, वो तो वही मैं बोला मेरा रोल आउट में वो आप लोग को फाइबर देना है। सी प्रोटेक्शन मल्टीपल प्रोटेक्शन पाथ आप ले सकते हैं, बट इट ऑल डिपेंड्स आप कैसा यू हैव टू डिजाइन योर नेटवर्क। बॉक्स के पास पूरा फीचर्स है, ये जो मैं स्लाइड बताया उसमें यहाँ तो एक प्रोटेक्शन पाथ हम दिया, आप ये रिंग प्रोटेक्शन ओके, एक सेक्शन लिया लेते से 100 किलोमीटर्स का, बट लेकिन ये पाथ आप लोग देना पड़ेगा। इन पाथ नहीं है तो देन थ्रू थर्ड पार्टी लाइक रेलटेल से आप लोग लेना पड़ेगा कुछ 1G पोर्ट और जो भी पोर्ट है एज अ प्रोटेक्शन पाथ।
जैसे सर अभी E1 प्रोटेक्शन हम यूज करते हैं रेलटेल का, तो उसमें लगभग जो है 40 से 45 सेकंड लगती है स्विच करने में, तो सर यहाँ टाइम कितना रहेगा प्रोटेक्शन में आने में?
इट डिपेंड्स, आप लोग एवरी यू कैन हैव एवरी लाइक एवरी गाय विल डू सम प्रोसेसिंग, तो 2-3 मिलीसेकंड तो लेगा ही लेगा आपको टू मूव फ्रॉम वन एंड टू अदर एंड। तो कितना हॉप है उतना तो रहेगा, 10-12 भी, इट शुड बी बिलो 50 मिलीसेकंड्स को तो रहेगा ही रहेगा इसका।
ओके ओके,
These are all standard, sir. ऐसा कुछ नहीं, I am doing something new or anything.
Shiva, one question, please.
Sir.
What is the difference between this packet switching and MPLS? It is also a type of packet switching MPLS?
Yes, sir. See, MPLS.
So what is the basic difference between these two?
See, in MPLS, you have multi-protocols, sir. You have different protocols can be used. Like, for example, I can have my network connected. I can have different banks connected. This is basically used by service provider to cater to wide range of people. For example, let us say company A wants to go through a service provider like BSNL. His traffic goes through that. Let's say company B wants to go through the same service provider. His traffic also goes through. Let us say company C also wants to go through. It goes.
Some labeling is also provided in MPLS?
Yes. So these are all features of MPLS where you can carry the data by labeling them. Every MPLS router will have standard features, and you have defined in your software also what you require exactly. And they are all standard RFCs and protocols of IPv4, IPv6.
And how this system will work better? Whether it will work better in standalone or it will work better with SDH MUX? You
have to move away from SDH MUX. This is just, see, SDH has been there for nearly 20-30 years, right? So it takes time. It's not something overnight you can do it. But then, okay, things can, in next 1 year, it'll move up. Once you're confident, one section you do it, and then you migrate all your data circuits. And you get your, as the other gentleman also asking about protection. Once it is done, then I think it'll catch fire. And plus, these are all proven technology. It's not that MPLS has just come today. This has been used in the industry from past 10 years. You're also like a service provider, sir. Only thing is that you're on a linear path. You're also like a very great service provider, right? You're also a sort of a service provider like Vodafone or Reliance Jio and all that. Every station is a POP for you. And every station you have certain needs to be catered to, which are again replicated on the next station.
Right.
And why they're moving to MPLS is because, I'm sorry, sir.
standalone, right?
Yeah. So the whole purpose of moving to IP/MPLS is that there is one more thing. The technology also is moving forward. Even if you like i3 processor, वो नहीं मिलेगा आपको. The SDH network chipsets you will not get anymore. See, the whole thing is controlled by.
Basically, we have to remove this SDH PDH, right?
Yes, yes. PDH will
The
see.
puzzle.
There is like FXS, FXO, E&M. Oh, E&M. It's very few people use it, right? It might you will just, and plus the whole purpose is once you remove E&M, half your problem is over. That is to the train control communication systems.
Okay,
Once you make it VoIP.
fine. And how many events can be drawn from LER and LSR?
You have multiple, sir. Each card is supporting 16 events. But all your circuits, see, let us say, let me take a router. This router is there.
Yeah.
Now this router has got Ethernet port, so you don't require any Ethernet even port in the IP/MPLS device. You will have an Ethernet port. See, if you look at the routers, that is the first mile connectivity I'm trying to say, sir. Let us say you have a router, so some or a L2 switch. Let's say switch. So what is the switch is having? The switch uplink is going to be Ethernet only, right?
Ethernet
So you will
only,
not
yeah,
require
right.
any events in the
Events will be required with the SDH mux.
Yeah, yes, right. That is PDMux. Even that PDMux also can be. You have got PDMuxes having Ethernet ports also now.
Okay.
So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that events will be required, but then the need of it will slowly die, and it will go very fast. Why? The reason is the switches once they come to IP/MPLS. See, now the IP/MPLS can do L3. This fellow can do a simple L2 fellow. All your traffic can be controlled by this IP/MPLS and L3. So the need for any router will die off. You will get L2 switches only catering for your network. Whatever you're doing now, you will get it.
And what
Okay,
will be the
so-
difference between these layer 2 and layer 3 switches in terms of IP/MPLS network?
See, L2 is just a pure transport, sir. From A to B, B to C, like that you can do. L3 means
Okay.
you'll start doing routing also.
Okay.
So that means you can
No, but A
segregate
to
one
B, B to
particular
C,
network.
that is also routing only.
I mean, yes, you can. That is why L3, sir. A switch is what basically a distribution system. So, for example, let us say you in this Malagom thing, I'll just show you, sir. So here you're having firewall. Firewall also is one sort of, it is connected to a switch where it is distributed. It is where you're distributing to different offices the bandwidth. This fellow is controlling to see that no one hacks into the system or anything. But after the firewall, you're having a switch only connected, which basically distributes. Like, for example, in your office, you want to connect to all your local PCs. So you will have an L2 switch, which does distribution. The data from the
And
switch
what about
is going.
L3? L3 switch?
Now, for example, say the data from that, let's say it's an intelligent switch. So now that intelligent switch can, where the data has to go. There will be one server, let us say at your zonal office. So he will control it.
So L2 cannot decide where to route this data.
Yes,
But
yes.
L3 can decide.
Yes, yes. It is more intelligent.
So basically
L3 is nothing but a router, sir.
Router built in inside, right?
Yeah, see, there's a L3 switch is like a router, sir, only with Ethernet ports.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
Any other question, please?
Yeah, Mr. Siva, I want to know one thing.
Sir.
In the beginning, actually, you have shown the two schemes. The one scheme you are telling is we can use the existing fiber, and in the option 2, the additional fiber. So,
Yes,
means this scheme you provide is it option 1 or option 2?
My box can handle both, sir. See, the option 1 comes by using a WDM plane, sir. Okay.
Okay.
If you remove it, it becomes option 2.
Okay, so in the option 1 means we can use the existing on which our this existing STM1 is functioning. That's the same two fibers we can use.
Yes. See, my idea, my thought process is what I understand is I've been working with relays for many years. I feel that fiber is not so easily available everywhere.
Yeah, this is fiber. Yeah, sometimes it becomes difficult if Realtel is already using all the fibers and they are not able to spare the two fibers. then it will be really
Absolutely.
difficult. You said
So in that case,
led to new cables also.
yeah. So in that case, it should not stop you from migrating.
Okay.
So that is the whole purpose. See, this box is any box, not only mine. With WDM plane, you can use. I'm not the only guy. The WDPM plane is a standard thing. It's nothing that I'm the only guy making it. They're all standards.
Okay, Mr. And one more thing I want to know: all these equipments fulfills the RDSO specs, because this IP/MPLS specs is already been issued
Absolutely,
by the.
sir. See, I will break down the Arduino spec into three parts, sir. One is the hardware, okay?
Yeah.
One is the software. The third is environmental, okay? The three parts. Now, software, yes, 100%. Environmental, 100%. And hardware, I'm way ahead of RDSO because I don't subscribe to the 10G concept.
Okay,
I strongly feel 10G is.
Okay. It should meet the minimum requirement at least.
Yeah, so I am way beyond 10G, sir. Because I strongly feel that the scalability should be there, because each box will be there for at least minimum 6 to 8 years or 10 years.
Yeah.
And 10G, I'll just tell you why I'm telling, because we manufacture. See, now when we go out in the let me ask for the chip people, they say 1G chip, another 1.5 year is going to die. Even the downlink, they're talking about 10G only. If you see all MNC's company switches are 1G stroke 10G.
Right.
So I strongly feel that is where, sir, we meet all in 100%. Hardware is little more advanced, and I have given more slots so that you are flexible in future.
Yeah, actually, sir, because in that LER or like that means they have defined the name of routers in the IP/MPLS spec that you might have seen.
Yes, we have seen.
So, means how you relate your equipment? Means this is your LER, this is your LSR, like that.
See,
can you show, or you will customize?
See, no, sir. See, LER, LSR. See, they have defined it very nicely. They have put their thought in their advisory notes.
Yeah.
They have told LER is like 4 into 10G. Okay. Let's say LSR is 8 into 10G. So my box has got multiple slots. I just put another card, it becomes LSR. Why will I waste inventory in trying to make two different boxes? My box size is just 13.5 centimeters.
So means it is fulfilling all the requirements, because
absolutely, and much more.
Because it is having the, as you said, environmental hardware and
yes, everything. Environmental I meet, software I meet, hardware is good.
Because means at present means we come to like Cisco and they are having the similar kind of things. As actually means we are going to plan this IP/MPLS in the Seattle region for the 21 stations. So means we are just planning the scheme. So for that actually, in that actually means the fact is that means we are planning only for 21 stations. The stations next to the 21st station, it is STM1, and stations before this first station is also STM1. So means we have to integrate the things. Means if we are using the same two fibers. So
then you require something like WDM plane, sir. Then only it will be helpful.
Because actually, and it is practicable, because it is not possible. Suppose that around the 140 stations are there in the other division or in any division, means we cannot do all the 140 stations at a time. All these works get sanctioned step by step, and they get executed section wise. So means definitely means we have to migrate from the STM1 to IP/MPLS. So I think this option 1 scheme is helpful for the migration.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that is only time. Yes, definitely. So, but it will be very simple and elegant. Gracefully, it will get migrated. That is why we have done in Malagos, where I'm showing you even the DB, what you call the connectivity, the trans and receive. See, here it is. Where see, trans was 9.1 dB, receive is 15.7. You are having three paths going. One is SDH path is going, you have 10G path going, and you have got another 10G path going on the same fiber.
Right.
This is live, sir. Still going on.
Have you ever completed any work regarding the IP/MPLS even in the small section or something?
It's a small section we have done, sir. Like here in Kachiguda, Mehboob Nagar, 3 locations we have done. But again, multiple challenges are there. Like the contractor has to come.
Yeah.
So all that, but we are ready. Whenever they call, we go and do the work.
Yeah, actually, your this Tangi is really working very fine in our this Danapuri Chandanpur section. The Danapuri and the Janai Road, they have that section, and in the halt stations, it is really very helpful because
Yeah, small device, sir.
yeah, that's it. Your this small device. Because earlier we were planning for the OFC hut. By utilizing your this Tangi means you have made our things very simple. And in
Very good. Thank you.
less space, we are able to utilize the things. So in that way, I think you have this scheme 1 that will help to migrate from the existing system to IP/MPLS phased manner, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Shivkumar, I have one
Yes,
doubt.
sir.
What is the role of Railtel in this? Suppose if you migrate to WDM plane, then where will you get the protection from if the cable gets cut?
Railtel is only for protection part, sir.
So they don't need to have NMS or any kind of thing which supports your equipment?
No, my EMS will be there. No, sir. I've shown a third party. He can integrate with his NMS also.
So,
See, for example, let me show you that CATIAR network, sir. Let's say this path. See this router. Let us say I put my device here. That is a 1G port. It is coming now, sir. There is no need of any WDM. So 1G port goes into the Railtel router. That Railtel, wherever he is going, he will dump the data here. He will create a pipe for me of all my data to switch from this, whatever this station to this station here.
okay. So,
And
yeah.
Whereas your NMS is concerned, if they have to see my device also, I'll just show you. This is the thing where you have a third-party interface. He can integrate with his NMS.
Yeah, presently, I think Railtel is giving, suppose if you ask for 4 events, they give protection for 4 events only. The complete fiber protection, I don't think they are giving at present.
Yeah, yes, but that is on STM, sir, not on routing. I'm talking about router.
Okay, so that means the
Ethernet. I'm talking about Ethernet now.
Yeah, that
No,
means
STM network is separate, sir.
Yeah, they did you discuss with them or did you try this?
बाळांना घेऊन जायचंय ना.
No, sir, we have not discussed with any Railtel. Sir, this information I get from railways only because they are very good. They give the information. In fact, they told once they give the information, we can work on it.
ह्याच्यातून कॉल कर, ह्याच्यात कॉल कर.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Shivkumar. This is CSE Southwest Railway, Pawar here.
Yes, sir. Very good evening, sir. Please.
Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. I just wanted to know and understand a few things. That box you have said IP/MPLS is your router. You're comparing with the leaders in the Gartner quadrant.
Yeah, okay. They could be.
Yeah, so there's congratulations. You have put a brand name for that because that Tanzi one I have heard. This one I don't know what you're calling.
We call it Neon, sir.
You call it Neon, and you are working in a 2.5G, 2.5 layer, right? Your
layer 3, sir.
You are working
Which
in a layer.
Tanz is 2.5G, sir. Tanz is 2.5G.
Okay, fine. Now, since what I gather from the whole scheme of things is that you are having something for the access portion. You are not having something which will integrate upwards towards the aggregation and the core layer. You mentioned SDN, and then you mentioned SD-WAN compatible. What about the other side of the ecosystem? You have to go integrating upwards towards the data center. Now, you have said somewhere that only the protection path from the Railtel is coming. From the when a SDN is used, you get the benefit of virtualization. And not just the network, but the data center side, wherever your server is there, the MPLS cloud is there. That has to be gone to software defined first. Then what will happen is that your MPLS or whatever is there, it will be reduced by the proper consolidation ratio. Do you agree?
Let me again, I will get to sir.
It will reduce by the proper consolidation ratio. And in your ecosystem, if you are having the Junipers, the Ciscos, or what have you. Now, if you
Okay.
have a SDN controller that
Okay.
which has to talk to your networking device, right?
Okay.
And yeah, and that SDN controller will be able to get you through to the aggregation layer and the aggregation part of it. Now, this is a transmission part between division to division, but you have not specified what will go and how it will benefit if you are able to integrate upwards.
Now,
If
one second.
you are
Let me
you are
get. We are
proprietary.
talking about the SDN network. Shall I clarify on SDN first?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me talk about SDN first. Okay. Software defined network. We are the only company helping banking to migrate to SDN. Without us, as on date, no bank will migrate to SDN. We are so smart, just to be on record, that we give them legacy interface on SDN device. We work with a company known as Lavela. Okay, we are rolling out 250 branches of ICICI Bank on SDN network. That is point one to clarify our comfort level on SDN network. Now, when you come down to SDN network, you have an orchestra at the center. This is a RAD UCP I was talking about, whom we are partnered with. You have your one second. See, this is an orchestra at the center, where if you will connect all your things to the orchestra, which are controlled by this SDN devices. This can talk to my IP/MPLS device at the core center. Whatever you want to do switching, you can do there.
I'll talk to you later, please. Hello. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
So central end, you have something known as orchestra. Orchestra is just a name for a server. Okay, they call it orchestra to just show you all the points of your endpoints available, so that you can, let us say, what I'm trying to say is configure each end device easily. So this is why it is known as a controller and orchestra. They give different names. Okay, we have worked with the leaders of the this thing of SDN known as Versa Networks. We supply equipment to them. We also work with a pure Indian company known as Lavela Networks. And you can Google and see them also. You can talk to the top people also. And coming back to the server in the orchestra, the data, if you want to pump from that LT, I mean, whatever you want to do, LT backup or a local internet, this devices talk to the server at the central location. You want to map it to your IP/MPLS router, any standard router using your L3 switch, whatever we call it, IPv4, IPv6, however you define your network or on your OSPF, can talk to it and then route the data. Again, I'm repeating, so orchestra is just a name. It is a server. This UCP I'm talking about a RAD device. It's an Israeli device whom we are partnered with, where these are the next level of devices, which even your what do you call that? This Guardant and all that. See, these are all made by companies. I mean, like these are basically like a ISO companies, right? These devices have got features where you can have multiple VNFs for your rollout of SDN network in Indian Railways. So this is it. You have first a software, we can have a VNF router, we can have a VNF SD-WAN, we can have a VNF VoIP also. These are known as UCPs. And then you can have any sort of a third-party orchestra at the central location also.
Yeah, correct. Your network orchestration will be done by your controller. Now,
correct,
what
sir.
you are telling is that I have been following your company since the last 25 years. When
Yes, sir.
Your company, I know Mr. Elviretti also, and you have
Yes,
come
sir.
a long way, and now you have been in collaboration with the Marconi or the RAD people. Now, if I can say so much that your device is fine, but if I have to work for another 15 years, this particular device, I may have to change it. I may just have to
You will have to
it.
change any device, sir. You are changing your electrical from coal engine, you have come to diesel engine, from diesel engine, you have to come to electrical engine. We are a 30-year-old company, sir. We have been serving Indian Railways from 1.2 kbps, I mean 1,200 bits per second. I would like to share some PCBs. I'm not able to open them. We designed 12-layer PCBs. They are tied up with a UK company for Civica, where they give us the software. From 1200 bits per second, we have come up to 10G and 25G, and it took us 30 years. Till today, if you want any analog modems, we are the company supporting Indian Railways. You want 64 kbps modems, we are the company supporting. You want 2 Mbps modem, we support. Now you are migrating to something as 1G, 10G. That is where we have put our head and started coming out with products, helping railways. How do we help them to migrate seamlessly? Like one of the small thing when we did internal discussion was that WDM plane. So we can help them to move seamlessly without using any additional fiber, or at least initially not have put a strain on the resources.
Yeah, that apart from the Nokia, which is your ecosystem partner or competitor, whatever you can call, they have not got a solution for the aggregation of these services, like using less of the channels, using more in the existing fiber, doing away with the purpose of buying additional fibers, which we are doing for the big ticket projects, the CTC, then the LTE.
Yes, sir, correct, right.
Which is coming. We want to have this, which in the existing fiber, of course, some of them have to be replaced. Anyways, that will be going away from the topic. Just I wanted to know that how long is the life of this? It is a router, a Tansy, I don't know what you call.
We are looking for a life of 8 to 10 years, sir. 8 to 10 years.
It is some.
See, all our products till now we have been supporting for more than 10 years. So we intend to do that also for this product. All our products, including our multiplexers, which we use for PRS, UTS, even our terminal servers, we have been supporting dedicatedly from past 10 years, any of our product. So we also continue to do for these products. And I request
primarily OEM now. You are an OEM, but you are telling
yes,
now you are a solution architect also. If anybody is,
so a solution
you are
architect
telling,
means,
you
see, I am also
primarily
OEM, sir.
coming from.
I am just giving my solution for the contractors and for railways. So till today, I am still an OEM. I cannot participate in tenders. I am just trying to give my solutions. So if railways likes it, they can consider it. And I also request that if anybody is coming for inside training, just give us a call. We can visit our factories, meet our R&D people. You can check on our design capabilities. See, again, I'm repeating, we design for Bell also. And we design a router card for Bell, where it is integrated into the thing and it is used by the defense, even in the most remote locations. I like to share that Bell.
Again, I like to tell you, however good you are, I am seeing that you are good enough, but the main system integrator and the person who is taking any contract, if it is an EPC contract or whatever, has to buy it. You should be a channel partner with them. We taking for a quotation basis or something is a different thing. Certainly, we'll be trying it out. But for a huge project, and if we want to replace the entire, entire STM, we will be doing it with some other alternative also, not just this one box.
Okay, I'll just like to come in between. I'm sorry. See, even your SCADA network, I'm doing in hundreds of locations, which is your more critical thing. Every data goes. Even your banking goes through my devices. 70% of your banks are using my devices. They're not all are critical networks. Even your SCADA network I'm connecting. I give a solution on OFC and COD for people. And this is a very critical network for you. And they're very happy. And I continue to make them happy, definitely. I mean, technically.
Anyway, you are welcome. Our project is on. You can come and try. There is an L&T and there is a big other Cisco's and all. You can come and try with this. We are having an IPMPLS project. Yeah,
I also request you can come down and visit our factory, sir. I'll be more than happy. And I would like you to interact with our R&D team also, sir.
Yeah, sure. Please fly down to our place if you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we find it difficult, you will find it easier.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't
I know
fly.
Hubli very well, sir. I
Yeah,
studied in Hubli BUP College of Engineering.
yeah. Then you should come. You must.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll come.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sikumar. I am A.K. Chopra.
Sir.
I have 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
First, this MPLS which has come up, is it really good? I think Indian Railways should replace the entire SDS network with this system as quickly as possible. Now my question is, first is that MPLS, I hope it is interchangeable with other companies as SDH is there. Am I right?
In SDH, it is they don't interchange, sir. You cannot, like, for example, each section you use one particular brand of STMs. Yeah, let us say if you're using Tejas, it is Tejas only. If you're using Nokia, you use Nokia. They can interwork, but you don't do that, sir. One particular section is only one particular brand. In IP/MPLS, you will not have such problems, sir. It can interwork with any router.
Okay, that's
you
good.
can have
Very good.
any third party. You can have a Taiwanese router or a D-Link router, an Indian router or an American router or a Europe router, unless they're not using any proprietary protocols. Like Cisco usually uses some EIGRP protocol and all that.
So it's a very good flexibility.
Yes, that is the beauty of this. It is like any switch, sir. Any switch you can connect.
Second question is that I was just hearing that Realtel will provide the support for your NF relay and all this thing. But it was my impression that the STM1 and STM4 installed in the stations are being maintained by Realtel. Has something changed in between?
Sir, that again is a divisional thing, sir. Some people that I will not be able to comment on it, but earlier Railtel was maintaining, but some locations even railways maintain it, sir.
Okay. Now the third issue is that as you have seen, the Prime Minister has said that they want to connect 6 lakhs villages for the entire country. So this technology will be the most useful. Now, I've been visualizing that there will be multiple companies, say Realtel, BSNL, or Power Grid, or GAIL, and all this thing. Their network should be combined to make the total network for the entire country. Now, the problem in this will be that how this system will ensure a revenue share between these various companies. Is some technology available on that?
Yes, see, that is exactly, sir. Now, for example, Indian Railways has got 7,500 stations or 8,000 stations. Each one is a beautiful pop. You use WDM, you can create pipes of 10G, whatever you want. You can sublet it to these third parties if you want.
Yeah. No.
So you can become a very, very strong backbone by using the right product.
No. I'm telling slightly different. Okay. Supposing Railtel is the nodal agency for connecting all the 6 lakh villages of the country, which the government is visualizing. So they, wherever Railtel is available, they supply there. Where the Power Grid is available, they can go on the Power Grid network, or BSNL network, or GAIL network, or even the private network of Airtel or Tatas. Now the issue will come is how do they revenue share of the bandwidth in between. So I just wanted to know whether you have any methodology available for revenue share of such systems or not yet.
So, see, revenue share will be done generally. I do not know how service provider do, but generally by the bandwidth you are giving to them. So based on that, proportionately they share the revenue, sir. That is what I understand with service providers.
Committed
for example, bandwidth. Yes, on the bandwidth. The bandwidth is a metric. Let us say you are giving them 1G. So that 1G will be the metric. Based on how much, what is that you negotiate with them, or how
whether it's actually used or not, it doesn't matter.
Sir?
See, if you say that you committed say 1G or 10G with the between 2 stations, and whether actually it is used or not, somebody will have to pay.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like, it is just like your, let's say, in your home internet, right? You're getting 1G, you pay a lump sum monthly, right? You can have that flat rate, or you can have on usage also.
Okay.
As you go pay.
How quickly this MPLS equipment is rolled out?
If you're using the same fiber, you can do it very smartly, sir.
No, what is your
You can
capacity
do it
of?
in 6 months time.
No, I just want to know what is your capacity of manufacture?
We can do it in 6 months time, sir. For let's say around let's say we take a, let us say 2 divisions of 140 or something. So manufacturing the equipment is not a challenge, but installation and commissioning will be a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So
the
we
installation
can
has to be done
roll
by
out
multiple
around 150 within 3-4 months, and then installation commissioning will take another 2-3 months. I think 6 to 7 months it will take, sir. Let's say around 140 stations.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir.
One more thing, Mr. Silva, I want to ask. That is, as per the ISO specs of IPMPLS, we should have open NMS. This our probe servers and in the divisions on the central server and the network. And suppose
Yes,
that we are providing some other OEM's system for the 21 stations or for 20 stations in a section, and then you are coming for another section. So means your this systems will be able to integrate with the probe server at the division.
Yes, sir. That is a part of the specification, sir. We'll give you a third-party port where you can integrate it.
There will not be any issue.
No, there'll not be. If there are issues, everybody will have an issue. I mean, everybody is capable of it. So like you have the big guys and the small guys. Everybody has to do it. They'll do it. Therefore, the NMS, EMS is designed like that.
You're supporting the open NMS.
Yes. We give a port, sir. You'll have NMS. We will sit below you.
It means, because I don't want to make so many NMS. Because there should be only one NMS in the division, and we say if there are the different OEMs in other sections, in one section, your team engineers in other section, Cisco.
Yes, correct.
But it means I want the one NMS one, not either.
Yeah, you can have one NMS, sir. We'll all be connected to your single NMS only.
One dedicated NMS provided for the Cisco systems. It should not be like
Yes.
integrated one.
Yeah, now also you do, no, sir. You have one single NMS. Okay, for your EI and all that also there are multiple parties are there where it is should displayed on the single board.
Guys, we are not that much in the NMS, but particularly for this, it will be very much required.
Yes, 101%. I agree with you. You have to have a single lane. You cannot keep having 2-3 separate NMS. They should be displayed on a single board.
That's actually it becomes the vendor or this OEM oriented. Means that everyone.
Yeah, I agree. No,
all the features, then everyone has to provide their own NMS. Is in the first tender only we are planning for the NMS, and in the other tenders means we will not give the provision of LMS. Any OEMs comes, they should be able to integrate with the existing. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, anything else, sir? Sir.
So anybody want to ask the question? Please ask.
Yeah, one last question from my side. Your principals, they are in with you for how many of these products, or all of them?
No, sir. See, one is
you are going to support because of some made in India and all that, but we know how big RAD is. So therefore, this is your own invention, and you're going to support.
Yes, sir. We have come up from scratch, sir. I told you earlier also we are 30-year-old company designing some 1,200 bits per second. So now we have tied up with a company known as Civica in London. It's a one-time thing where we have taken the whole stack of IPv4 and IPv6. It's all ours now. And their companies available. I mean, it's how, any business, these are the internal things, but anyway, you have asked, so just to give you comfort level. The hardware is ours. I can share you some PCBs also, that layout. Just 1 second. So if I'm able to open it. Just 1 second. This is a PCB design we have done for Levala for ICICI Bank. Yes. See, this is LER PCB. This is it. Look at the PCB design of us. This has got, see, this is a 12-layer PCB which we have designed. Okay. This is all in India, sir. You have multiple layers on it. This chip is 600 pins. It has got BGP. It's an FPGA where we have to. These chips are from outside the country, but it's our coding and all, our architecture. So this is a 12-layer PCB. I would like to share one more smaller one also. This is one multiplexer which we've made for railway. This is a 4-layer PCB. This PCB we call it as a Gerber file, sir, where we send it out and this is a 4-layer PCB. See, you can see this. This is a Euro connector, which are used for giving your FX on E&M ports. These are like 32-pin, 64-pin Euro connectors. These are your LEDs. This is a front panel LEDs, right? You don't see that same thing in that IP/MPLS devices. So this is our LEDs because railways like LEDs to share the status. So this is the routing. I'll just show you the routing. This is the routing. See, this is like each PCB is like your multi-storied building. We have 4 floors, let us say. Each floor we have a layer. This LER is a 12-layer board. This is a 4-layer board. You can talk about TE, VMUX, MB, PCB, so on, so on. And these are all done. The work is done through our pick and place machines. And this again, I'm coming back. So this is an SDN box. This is a motherboard of a third party where we have integrated with our PCB in order to provide you TDM interface for them so that they can migrate SDN on TDM. You can never see this anywhere in the world. That much confident we are. You ask even the RAD guys, they will not tell they can integrate TDM into SDN. We have done it for a company known as Levala. You can Google and see. You can, and the bank we are doing this for first lot 200 numbers we have supplied. It is going for ICICI Bank. I can share you the box photographs also, where we can show you serial port for SDN interface. Usually, there's all new age devices only come with Ethernet. And this is recognized by Department of Scientific and Industrial Research also, sir. And they only give recognition after seeing your products and your capabilities. And even this Bell also, again, wireline communication and telecommunication. They use our services for a couple of their equipment for designing certain PCBs.
Oh, sir, excuse me, sir. Yeah, Chetan, sir, from SWR.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you are told about UCP equipment, sir.
Right. This is a new concept.
Sir, for UCP equipment, can it be configured to support LTE ports also, sir?
Yeah, that is the beauty of it. It has got an LTE device. See, UCP is a white box. See, the future they call it as a white box. So UCP is a RAD device which has got multiple cores on it, where you can have your router VNF or SDN VNF, or you can have a VoIP or any other VNF onto it. And the LTE, it has got a Wi-Fi.
LTE equipments are manufactured by Huawei or ZTE. So
not LTE,
can
sir.
be configured.
I'm talking about let me explain. I'm sorry. I'll go back to UCP. See, this devices You can Google. This is known as ETX2V of RAD device. Okay. This can be connected on local GSM, or it has got a Wi-Fi LTE thing which you can connect to any LTE and configure it to reach your controller, central controller. Now, whereas that LTE is concerned, it all depends which service provider you're going to hook up with the particular GSM. Whether you use Airtel, Vodafone, or Jio, or BSNL, or your own LTE. Once you have your own LTE, you have your own numbering scheme also will get. In NFR, you had your own radio network, right? Many years ago. Still, I think it is there.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Shiva, one more question, please.
Yes, sir. Please.
ये जो NMS है, ये आप अपना खुद डिजाइन करते हैं या आउटसोर्स करते हैं?
See, software sometimes we take some third parties help, sir, because they are very good at it, right? See,
Software
you cannot.
only.
Yeah, obviously. See,
hardware you are designing yourself.
Yes, see, when you make a product, for example, you take a Dell laptop. Okay, who gives him the design? Intel gives him the design. This let's say LCD comes from the third party. He's not going to make the screen and all that, right?
Right.
So that's also, if you're not good at it, why will I keep breaking?
So basically, you are taking the equipments from other vendors and you are basically assembling them here in India, right?
How am I taking vendors from other vendors?
Sorry?
Software I can take, right? I can have a team of people designing my software. I can source it out also. I can tell them this is what is required.
No, I'm talking about hardware. Hardware I'm talking about.
Hardware is my design, sir. I've shown you my PCBs also, right?
Okay, so you are designing NMS in India itself, right?
Yeah. So see, let me example. Windows is making Windows. Can't he outsource his work to make his Windows? Let's say it's a Microsoft company.
Hardware, I'm not talking about software. I'm talking about hardware, yaar.
Hardware is ours, sir.
I'm not talking about software. You are
and first initially it was on EMS, no, sir. Sir?
Now, why are you going at software? I'm talking about hardware only.
Okay. Hardware is ours, sir. Software is we take some help.
Okay, hardware is designed in India only.
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Right. Thank you.
You see, for example, like modem software in that CPLD, it is minimalistic sometimes. If the higher it is, then we take some help.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, anything, sir? Can I
any
clarify?
other question, please?
One more thing I want to know, that is nowadays there are the instructions from the board and everywhere. We have to consider the Make in India products. So I think your products are completely meet the requirements as defined in our Make in India. Recently, I have seen one letter from the Telecom Directorate regarding for the IP and PLS, all these products will be Make in India. So
yeah, they will be. We meet it, sir. We meet around 60%. There will be some imported components like some ICs and all that we have to import, sir.
Yeah, you just check the definition.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Because we give yes.
Yesterday only I have seen.
Right, sir. Thank you.
IP and PLS also they have kept in the category of permit.
You must have gone on GEM also.
Yes, sir. GEM IPMPL is not there, sir, but some of our products are there in GEM, sir.
Yeah,
GEM is a very difficult thing, sir. They really trouble you. We have been trying to fight with them. Recently, we have supplied some material. Now we have to digitally sign it. No one comes to help it. It's a big some sort of a scan. I mean, I should not say it, but issues are there with GEM. And no one, even the help desk is very minimalistic, sir. But we are on GEM, sir. For certain products, we are on GEM, and we get a couple of orders from railways and other post office. We get some banking orders also. We get through GEM.
Nowadays, Nixie is not there. Otherwise, you could have gone with the router type of things on Nixie. GEM is the next alternative. And yes, you can come through the works also, and therefore you have to quote as a system integrator, though you are an OEM.
Yes, sir, because see, it is a huge opportunity, and telecom, this is a time where things are changing. It makes a lot of, I mean, put all our effort, and where we are capable of doing it, why not?
Please share this data sheet.
Yeah,
Sure, sir. I'll share.
excuse me. Yeah, I actually joined late. Can you, this particular slide seems very interesting. Can you just explain one more time what exactly are we showing here? The in terms
Ma'am.
of connectivity?
See, what has happened, see, now we are talking about connectivity between stations, and we are talking about first mile connectivity, ma'am. So you have something like UCP devices. You look at a phone. A phone has got multiple things in a single phone. Like you have telephone, you've got a torchlight, you've got a scanner, you've got a music. Now the same concept is coming to the end devices. We call it the first mile or the last mile. So you have devices known as like universal CPs. See, the personality of the box changes by the software in it. So you can have a router software in the same box. You can have a SDN WAN software in the same box. You can have IPPABX, a firewall. This multiple things, VNFs or virtual networks, can come into the single box. So this is how we thought maybe railways can look into a VNF, a UCP device. You initially have a UCP device using router. Then you will inevitably migrate to SD-WAN. The same box can be used for a software-defined network. Using the VNF of the SD-WAN, you can have a Versa sort of a SD-WAN VNF, you can have a Lavela sort of a thing, or any other third party. You can also, in addition, if people are smart, we can do it. We can give a VoIP VNF also, where you can have your TCCS merge into this box. Train control communication system software merge into this box. So this will help you to move to SD-WAN on the periphery with a lot of ease. That is the whole concept.
So you're saying that you have come up with one single hardware, and by a change in software, the same hardware can be used for SD-WAN, for SDN, for TCS, or for router. That all
Yes,
these are software configurable on a single.
This box is not mine, man. I am tied up with a company known as RAD from Israel. I am tied up with him for these devices. They call it as ETX device in their product catalog. We have identified, we're partnered with them for railways. They call it as a universal CP, and this is a standard sort of a thing in the industry also. People call it by different names. Some they call it as a white box, or they call it as a universal CP.
Right. So the one which is on the top, you have shown three stations, and there is a connectivity between this I think there is a on the
It's
station.
a router, ma'am. Just like a router, ma'am.
It's a router, and the router is connected to your CP.
Yes, correct, perfect, ma'am. See, this is now how in railways it is generally it's a router or a switch.
Okay. Or is it that what you're trying to show here is that you're going to replace the one which are in the yellow boxes with the CP? Is this what you?
No, ma'am. This yellow one is the POP, ma'am. That is your OFC hut. Okay, the OFC hut can have an IPMPLS device or a SDH device. Presently, you have an STM there. Now you will have lot of fan outs at each location to deliver your PRS, UTS, FOIS, or RailNet services. These devices are usually local routers, standard routers. But now suppose you want to migrate to SDN tomorrow, then you have to have a SDN capable device. But then you want to migrate the same device as use as a router or a SDN device. Then you have devices like UCP. The whole concept was just to update you such technologies are available and such things are feasible. And this box can add little more, like even your TCCS also it can add VoIP. That is the whole concept. And these are all first mile devices, man. Hooking up to your IPMPLS network or your SDH network.
So you have partnered with the RAD people to get this hardware.
Yes, ma'am. Software will be another third party, ma'am. RAD also can help on SDN, router also, and then whereas VoIP, we develop it, ma'am. We are tied up with another company who are good in supplying TCCS. So that software will put it in the box. The whole concept, we have conceptualized it and then trying to share it with railways. So if they see any benefit or merit in it, they can consider it.
You already have a Junos in Juniper which talks to the central location. What new it is, this concept? You can
You
replace
can't add in the Juniper, you cannot add your TCCS. Sir.
what?
TCCS train VoIP.
If you have it in the endpoint, then that can be always integrated.
Yeah, this I'm talking about endpoints only, sir.
Yeah, you are last mile only.
Yeah, last
What
mile or first
solution
mile?
you are in last mile only. So I'm
Yes,
saying
yes.
the endpoint, if you are having Junos, it can easily talk with the own router. Actually, there has to be vendor agnostic protocol. What the other gentleman was telling earlier for the NMS, similarly for this, also you could have a universal, like we are asking some protocol, ULIP protocol for our CTC EI. Anyways, it is proprietary only.
So the whole idea is to share the concept of your UCP or white box as things are available where railways can consider it. So that is the whole purpose of it. Because UCP might come, if not today, tomorrow will come. We used to call it earlier white boxes, but now that has become a reality. So we're just sharing knowledge to update.
What is this LTE?
Ma'am, LTE is where you can connect, let's say, see, for example, railways is a linear path, ma'am. It's not a mesh network like a banking or anything.
Okay.
So in a linear path, how do you create a path protection? Okay, then it's a challenge, right? Earlier, you used to take a lot of lines from BSNL to create a path protection. So now LTE could be one of the media for connecting if there is this path breaks down, if this tail end breaks down. If there's cut, then you can go through LTE and talk to your central orchestra. That LTE can be any third party.
Oh, this.
For example, look at banking, ma'am.
This is LTE port to. This is an LTE port to provide connectivity.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. LTE port is to provide connectivity to any.
Failover connectivity. It's a
Yes,
second.
yes, ma'am. See, you can have one is to the local. You can have a Ethernet port. For example, let us take the SD-WAN. See, you will just simplify it, madam. See, for example, just take a bank. How is bank connected on SDN? So he has got one uplink and one local link he has got. The local link is usually to the local internet is going presently. Okay, if the uplink fails, then it goes to the local internet and the local internet through that SD-WAN goes to the orchestra and then it is connected. In addition to that, we have an LTE port is a SIM card. SIM port is available, which can talk to the service provider, where the service provider will create a tunnel between your orchestra and you. So that the data flow is still there.
But Shiva, for that we have to take the spectrum.
Yes, sir. You have to take any GSM, no? Any GSM SIM you have to take. And
without that, only just SIM
no,
is
no,
required.
No. Yes, yes, absolutely. See, you need some path to go, no, sir. Either local internet you take.
No, there is a LTE network which is going on in Indian Railways. Is it other than that?
You can talk to your own network. You'll have your own LTE network. You can have your own mobiles. You can have your own SIM cards. You can use it for your own communication
purpose.
Can I
use it just by inserting a SIM card of
yes,
say
sir.
Airtel or Jio?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to take one public IP at the central location. That's it. All the things will talk to that. Presently, also you're doing it. No? So you're doing some sort of predictive analysis and all that. So you would have just one public IP, and this all will be remote. You can pull the data on the GSM network and go to the central location. And they'll do it, sir. All the service providers do it.
Okay, thank you. Any other question, please? Okay, Vakankar ji, you can conclude.
Yes, sir. Okay, thanks to all for participating in this webinar, and thanks to Mr. Shiva Kumar for giving a nice presentation. I request all of you to please give their feedback. I have provided a link in the chat box. Thank you, sir.
Thanks everyone for participating. I really appreciate for the time given.
Would you be sharing these slides with the participants?
Oh, yes, ma'am, please. This is nothing
The
hidden.
recording, what's your name, ma'am?
My name is Bobby.
What's your designation?
I'm from IIT.
You are from IIT. Okay, okay. You are not from Railways.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, we are sharing the recording as well as the in our groups. So either you just put to your mail ID in your chat in this chat box, then we'll send you. Okay.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shiva Kumar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And thanks for giving the opportunity. It's given me a platform to put our products.
We'll be meeting soon for the second webinar.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Even that I will ensure that I'll really do.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Shiva.
Really. Thank you.